Hi, everyone. I just had a dog walk in the room. This is Stacey Portugal with another mini weight loss coaching session, and it's on staceyportugal.com. So, do you get frustrated by the number on the scale sometimes? You know, you've had a great week, you've worked really hard, and then you get on and you're just like, what the? Where's this number coming from? Maybe you've um, maybe you've lost just a fraction of the weight that you expected. Maybe you even put on some weight, or maybe you just, you know, didn't see the result that you wanted to see and you feel like you've worked really, really hard. So there could be a lot of reasons for this. I mean, we kind of live life by the numbers, and the thing about that is it can be very daunting at times, depending on what kind of measurement we're using for success. So when I say living life by the numbers, what I mean is the pressure of, what's your zip code? How many Facebook friends do you have? And living life by the numbers can really set you back if you're not careful. So if you've had a great week and you don't like what you're seeing, or maybe you're playing with the same pounds over and over again, go ahead and just like this post, comment. I want to hear what your experience is, what you think. But we really need to learn to work smarter and not harder. So here's a few ways that might help you. So one thing is fluid retention, and us women all know this, that we could be retaining fluid. Your body can shuffle around or even retain as much as 4 pounds of fluid. Again, us women, we know about this, and this is just the way it is. In fact, I was wearing kind of a tight black dress, sort of like I'm wearing now, and I was showing my husband last weekend. If I turned to the side, I literally looked pregnant. And I was on point with eating. That was just not the issue. But there are other reasons that could be causing this, and you have to get your mental self in place to sort of manage these times. But you also have to work a little bit smarter and start thinking about the measure of success that you're using. So, okay, the first thing might be fluid retention, sodium, that time of the month for a lot of women. A whole bunch of other factors could really go into this, even if you are working out. So let's talk about muscle building versus fat loss. You could be working out with your trainer, or getting on that treadmill and running, or doing some sort of other muscle building activity, and there's a very fine line between fat loss and muscle building. So you could be building muscle and losing fat, and you may not see that on the scale. So that might be another reason to kind of think about other ways to measure your success. And there are so many other reasons. So I really want to encourage you to go to staceyportugal.com and look at my blog. It's called A New Way to Look at Weight Loss. This will give you a lot more detail and a lot more reasons that you could not be showing the success you deserve on the scale. But we know it happens for many, many reasons, and I'm curious to hear what people's thoughts are about this. But how do you deal with the frustration? So that's my question to you. I mean, what's your strategies for dealing with those times that you're not getting the results that you want on the scale? What is it that will help you to stay motivated, if not a number on the scale? And do you want to live by that number alone? And one thing I always encourage people to do is to always look at the big picture of weight loss. So if you are losing weight and you didn't get the results that you wanted that week, I have a feeling that if you look at the bigger picture of your success, you will see the success that you deserve. A half a pound to 2 pounds of fat loss each week is an average number, but it's also a reasonable number for your body to let go of. And we all know that we lose a little bit more at the beginning, and that is indeed water weight. So your body just kind of releases that before it starts working on fat loss. So how else can we measure success? Here's a few other ways, and again, I'm listing a lot more ways on my blog, and it's called A New Way to Look at Weight Loss. So we can measure success by a body fat percentage, and there's a ton of great ways that you can measure your body fat. You can see a practitioner. They will have a caliper. They might even have other machines that do that. I know they can measure it in water, but there's a lot of great home scales that also measure body fat, and I really, really recommend them. Many of them are just right at Bed Bath & Beyond. Go grab a coupon and make sure that it measures body fat and not just your weight. And body fat can also be a little tricky, so you have to know a little something about this. So you would want to reach out to a practitioner to see what a reasonable amount of body fat, percentage-wise, to lose would be. So besides that, you can just simply take your measurements. Measurements are another great way of determining the kind of success you're making, especially if you are working on fitness and weight loss goals at the same time. And another related way of measuring success is simply body composition. How does your body look? How does it feel? Are you getting your clothes on? Is the button closing a little better? The shirt feels a little less tight? Are you starting to see definition in places that you weren't seeing definition before? So all this kind of stuff is pretty cool, and I think a much more accurate way in terms of measuring your success. So it's not just a number on the scale. There's a lot of different ways of measuring success on the scale. Could be body fat body fat percentage, could be measurements. And I would suggest before you begin any weight loss journey or fitness journey, it's such a simple thing to do to go ahead and take your body measurements. You know, it'll take you 5 minutes. Just record it and then look at it perhaps every month. And the same goes for body fat percentage. Get on if you have a home scale that measures it. If you don't, once again, I highly recommend that you get that sort of scale. They sell them at Bed Bath & Beyond and other retailers. And check your body fat percentage once a month or so. Don't check it every week like you would your weight, because body fat is really, it's not going to be as quick, but it's really super noticeable. You will notice a body fat loss even more than you're going to notice a pound loss on the scale. So what about how does your clothes fit? You know, are you feeling more comfortable in your clothes? What size are you? Have you gone down a size? Other ways that we can measure success are maybe you're doing more reps. Maybe your yoga practice is becoming more fluid. Maybe you're noticing that you are more limber. Maybe you can complete more reps or use a heavier weight. Maybe you're walking an extra block or an extra mile. There are just so many other things you can measure. You can measure your cravings. Your cravings are a huge determination of your success. And your cravings not only represent how you're doing in terms of weight, how you're doing in terms of following a program, but it's really also a reflection of a healthier diet. So these are things that we can be celebrating. So this is all about how can you measure success on the scale even when a number seems a little daunting. And as we know, numbers can have some pressure along with them. What do you weigh? How many Facebook friends do you have? You know, we live by the numbers, you know. What does this poll say? What does that poll say? But the important part of this lesson is to choose the measurement that will reveal your progress. That's the most important message that I want you to know. So this is going to be different for everybody, and you can find out more at stacyportugal.com. That's Stacy with an EY. And go ahead and like my Facebook page if you want to see more of these kind of broadcasts. I do this once a week, and I really hope that this is helpful for you. And I know it's a little early in the morning, but I hope that even if you're seeing this on replay, go ahead, like my page, Stacy Portugal Weight Loss Coach, and also go to my website, stacyportugal.com, and you will see many more blogs and many more videos on subjects like this. So really quickly, today we were talking about just living by the numbers and how much pressure that can put on us and ways to not let that get in our head, because the reality is we're not going to see the kind of progress we want to see every single week, every single day, etc. And we have to learn how to manage our own expectations. So why aren't you going to see the progress every single week? The reason you're not going to see the progress can be for a variety of reasons. However, some, just to name a few, would be fluid retention, which us women know very well. And literally, you can retain up to 4 pounds of fluid, and that's a healthy person. So if you're on certain medications or have certain medical conditions, you can retain even more, okay? Another thing is, you know, besides fluid retention, is if you're trying to build muscle, it becomes a very delicate dance when you are active and you are trying to lose fat, and at the same time, your muscles are growing. So you may not see that on the scale. So you really do have to find different ways of measuring that success. And there are so many more reasons. So I really do invite you to check out the blog on my website called A New Way to Look at Weight Loss. So, you know, you have to really keep your head in the game. If your head is not in the game, you're not going to get it done. You're going to get sidelined by frustration. And when we get sidelined by frustration, what do? We just disrupt our efforts. We wind up going on a vicious cycle of failure, you know, trying diet after diet, and we make ourselves nuts, and we don't ultimately reach our goals. So living by the numbers, live by a number that truly represents your goal. If you are building muscle, if you have health concerns, be accurate in your measurement. Don't just go by a scale. It's just a number, okay? We have to look beyond that. Also keep in mind the big picture of your journey. How much weight have you lost in how much time? I think that is a really important thing too. And we want to learn how to work smarter, not harder, okay? So give yourselves a break. All right, so choose the measurement that's going to reveal your progress. Head on over to my site, stacyportugal.com. All one word, it's Stacy with an EY. And go ahead, like my page so that you will see my weekly Facebook Lives, whether it's the replay or the live, really doesn't matter. But I really welcome your comments. I love hearing from everyone throughout the week. I think it's really fun to hear what people are interested in, what motivates you, what frustrates you. I'm in for all of it. So have a great Thursday, everyone, and we will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.